Hello YouTubers, and in this session we're going to show you how to compile the edited sprites that you may or may not have. So there's a few things that you'll need to be aware of. Here we go. On the disk you've got some SCR files from RStudio. So screen 1, screen 2, screen 3. If you want to edit the art files, run Advanced Art Studio, which weirdly enough is on the disk file provider with the project. And once that's finished loading, we can load up some of the screens. Don't you just miss the fast loads? Okay, so I'm going to go to File and catalog the disk. And as you can see here, we've got a few screen files, so we can load in, let's say, screen 1. We'll select that with cursor keys and space, and then space to load file. So in this file, we've got the basic digital display, the pound sign, so you can change that to a euro, a dollar. You've got win bank, best win, and then the real items themselves. So my crap graphics, that was meant to be an orange. I think that was meant to be a lemon. The cherries are terrible. That was an apple. Hopefully that looks like a bell. That looks kind of like a melon at a squint. A pear. Honestly, that is not graphics corruption, that is bags of cash. A couple of bars of gold, a plum, some terrible grapes. I just don't know what was going on there at all. A pound sign, again, shocking. And I think that was meant to be a peach. But yeah, it looks like a mess, doesn't it? I'm not exactly an artist, but I'm sure there's better people out there that can do a better job than I have. And then we've got the digits 1, 2, 3 and question mark for the side of the machine for selecting different gaming functions. And then we've got a basic character set here at the bottom. And if I just scroll down, there we go. So we've got the basic text that we have here, and you can make the edits if you wish. I'm not going to go into how to do that. But yeah, there we go. You can always load or save it, or we can load another screen, such as screen 2. So if you made some edits, save the file, obviously. Let's just have a look at screen 2. So this is the side panel display that we've got with the different features and functions. So repeaters, nudges, cache pop, high-low cache, number run, cache fall, skill cache, spinner win, and mystery, which corresponds to the appropriate assembler files for how those gaming functions work. Okay, so bottom line, you've made the edits, you've improved my rather rubbish graphics, and you want to compile it into the game. So to do that, I'm going to reset. You'll see on the graphics disk there is an ADM file for Adam, and that's called so once we've hit reset, I'm just going to type in mode 2 so you can see what's on the disk better. But on the disk itself, there's some additional files. There's sprcomp.adm, which is the Adam assembler file for compiling the sprites into one big file. And then there's a little tool called getaddr.bas, and that's used for getting various absolute screen addresses. So if you added any additional graphics, or you've put or edited graphics into a different location than I've originally placed them, run the getaddr.bas file, and it'll ask you for a file name. So for example, we edited screen 1, so just put in screen 1. Don't worry about the extensions. It's a very, very basic program. This will load the graphics in. It won't set the colours correctly. Don't worry about that. And on the bottom of the screen, you can see there the screen address, C000, and that's the top left-hand corner. You can't particularly see it very well, but there's an orange block, very top left, and that's your kind of cursor. Yes, I could have made it blink and do all sorts of flashing things, but as a developer, you just want something quick. So I can use Z and X to move left and right, and then I think it's colon and slash to move up and down. So you can move this little cursor around just to get the absolute address. WinBank is at F0, F0, for example. My very terrible lemon is at C99D. And so on and so forth. But you'll need to make a note of those addresses if you change the locations only, because you'll need to change the assembler for it. Long gone. Well, I mean, today we've got all fancy compilers. We've got text files that we can just put in addresses and various bits of information to help us compile it outside of this. But back then it was quick, dirty, and nobody else other than myself was going to use it. Anyway, once you've done the edits, you've got note of all the addresses, you're going to want to compile this thing. Okay, so in my B drive, hopefully, I've got Adam, and I've got all the various assembly files for this. Because I'm using the 6128, I'm going to load Adam into one of the extended memory banks. Of course, you don't have to do this yourself, but it does make things easy when or if you make a mistake. Control B to go into hex mode, and I'm going to go back into the A drive, so bar A. I'll do that again, just to be clear. Okay, so I can see here, we're back to the screens. To go back into Adam, because I've loaded it at its default base address of 4000, which is in the extended memory bank. If you're on a 464, sorry, but once you finish compiling the sprites, it will corrupt Adam and it will crash after you've saved. Anyway, here we go, and I'm going to get the file sprcomp.adm, and then to look at the listing, L semicolon. This will bring me to the top, and this will show you all the different routines that will get called to recover and compress the graphics into the file format expected for Slot5. So you can see numbers, which is the digital numbers that you saw, get the pound sign, get win, get best win, get the fruits, etc, etc. Okay, so if we want to have a look at get win, we can say L get win and jump straight to the get win routine. And you can see here we've got a call to put offsets, which will load it to the next index. The HL is loaded with F0, F0. If you remember from the get address program, we can clearly see that was the absolute screen address. And then we've got length and height in bytes. So hash 16 is hex 16. So what's that in decimal? 16 plus 6, so 22. Is that right? Yeah, possibly. And then the height, so it's 8 bytes high, and then we just jump to get sprites. And the same with the fruit, so we know that the various offsets, so the routines are configured, and you can have some fun disassembling and understanding how this works. I'm not going to go into any detail because it's been, crikey, 27 years possibly, so my memory's faded, and it's been a long time since I've looked at this code, and half the time I didn't know what I was on back then. Usually sleep deprivation, Pro Plus, because we didn't have Red Bull back then. Definitely lots and lots of caffeine for all night sessions. But Anyway, yeah, there we go. So basically, once you've got the file in, A to assemble. Okay, now this assumes that the file name is on the A drive. You can of course change that, but for all of the names, file names that we've got here, it's important that they're all consistent. So if you're going to put in A colon, oops, then you would have to do this against all of the entries, otherwise the lengths and offsets will all be out. I'm just going to take this back because you're not going to see this in the file that I've released. This one here, don't ask me why, the naming standard is not exactly friendly, is it? But name1 is the output file. So name, name2, name3, name4, name5 are the input files, so the .scrs for the screens, and the .spr is the sprite file, and in this case I've called it Slot5, which should match with the loader program. And depending on the graphics, you get compression of about 32k from the five screens that we've got here, because we're pulling in those specific files. So you need to make sure there's at least 32k, 32 to 35k of free space on the destination disk. I'm not sure if it's immediately obvious on here. So for 6128 users, because the way I like to use Adam is to load it into an extra memory bank, so I can jump back into code when loading stuff in that might overwrite it. I've put in here to switch back to standard memory configuration. So this is 7F00,192 if you was typing it in BASIC. And once it's finished and save the file, it could be down in save, it jumps back into Adam if Adam is running. So let's have a look what's happening down. Oops. Yeah, that was a bad idea. That was. Oh no, it's definitely there somewhere. Anyway, right. So we can assemble it like so. It executes at hex address 9000, and then I can just press J for jump. How does it know where to start or where its execution address is? So the origin is at 9000 hex, and ent $, this is the entry point into the assembly program. Okay, so we just assemble it. J to jump. So it asks me rather crudely to insert the disk with those 5 file names in, which we already have. So I'm just going to hit enter or space, enter, yeah. So it'll load them in mode 2, and where it's compressed the sprites, you can see where it's overwritten in places. Okay, it's finished compressing the particular sprites that it wants, and it's now asking to put the destination disk for, it says test.gam, but actually it's your slot5 .bin file. Really should update that, so please don't get confused. So there isn't enough space on the destination disk because everything's all compiled on there for you. So you will need to put it into either the Slot5 game disk itself or create your own. Hopefully you can see there's a slot5.spr, and that's 33k. And if all has gone well, hopefully, we're going to run Slot5. And there we have it. The sprites are compiled and the game's ready to go. So we'll just have a quick spin. mystery. Ah, we love a mystery, don't we? Let's collect that, see what happens. Oh, nudges. We've got 4 in the nudge pot. I was very proud of the nudge routine. £2. I don't think we'll risk it, shall we? Anything that wins is a machine. So let's take it. And yeah, 3 terrible grapes. Shocking, but £2. Alright, well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more like this, or even less. Constructive feedback, always welcome. And yeah, enjoy your Z80 programming on the Amstrad CPC.